Cooking New Ulm. I'm Rebecca Fliszar, the dietitian with the Hearts Beat Back Heart of New Ulm project, working to reduce and eventually eliminate heart attacks in the 56073 zip code. And today we have a great guest making a nice gazpacho. Well, welcome, Scott.
Hi, Becca.
How you doing?
I'm pretty good. A little nervous because I'm going to be putting my limited culinary skills on display.
All right. Well, let's see what you got. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what you've done with the Heart of New Ulm.
Yeah, well, I used to be on the steering committee for the Heart of New Ulm, and I really appreciated that because I really believe that that's important for the community. And having been involved with Windings Incorporated up through the end of August, I knew what health claims and medical insurance did to the expenses of that company. So we really needed to make some changes in terms of people doing some things in terms of healthy lifestyles. And
Right.
Our family, we've done a lot in terms of, we eat mostly vegetables, very little meat anymore.
Okay.
And we're participating in the double down thing at the Park and Rec. The second time my wife and I have done it, and we haven't died yet.
Well, great. Tell us a little bit about the double down.
Well, double down is 2 classes a week, and then Jill Wolfert gives you exercises or things to do throughout the rest of the week, and then some challenges for the weekend.
Good.
But it's like they describe it as kind of a boot camp in terms of she runs you ragged for 45 minutes until you just can't go any farther. And then she gives you some tips about eating and other exercise.
Yeah. And actually, she's partnering with the Heart of New Ulm. I'll be giving you a grocery store tour on Monday night. So
right. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it'll be a good time. So, well, tell us a little bit about the recipe you selected for us today.
Well, it's an easy recipe. It's one that I like doing every once in a while, particularly if I just want a really heavy dose of vegetables.
Okay.
And I'm the only one in the family that eats it, so that's okay too. But it's a cold soup, gazpacho. I believe it comes from Spain.
Okay.
It's really easy to prepare, and it's also one of those recipes where you can make it whatever you want to make it. I mean, I select certain vegetables like cucumber and celery, the bell peppers, and so on, but people could add corn or jicama or whatever their favorite vegetables are. I mean, sometimes when I think, I feel like some gazpacho, I just sort of wander through the produce aisle and say, well, I'll pick up some tomatillos, or I'll pick up, maybe I'll put in some jalapenos in there or something like that, rather than just using a can of diced tomatoes and chilies.
Right. Well, that's great. You know, the cold soups are something that we're starting to see more of with our Mediterranean diet. It's something that, you know, we all enjoy soup, and yet we don't normally take the time to heat it up. And what we're learning is that cold soup is something that we can enjoy as well. So let's see some of our ingredients, start our chopping, and start putting this together. So.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to start with the celery because that's one that I found that even if you have the gazpacho sitting in the refrigerator for several days, that the celery stays crisp while it's in the liquid. So
now with celery, that's going to be one of your, as it sits, it's going to become one of your stronger flavors. So make sure you like the celery before you put it in there, right?
Right. I never knew that.
Well, glad you came today, Scott.
I learned something. So I just do some basic chopping, and again, it's pretty much how you make it. Is you just chop up a bunch of vegetables and stuff. Actually, I'm gonna cheat and use my little technique and get it split here first.
And you're going to notice too, with all of the vegetables that Scott chose today, these are going to be easily available year-round. So we didn't have anything that was terribly seasonal, something that you could still make in the winter. Now, the funny thing there, the thing that you maybe didn't know is that these soups can be heated up as well. So normally it is served cold, but this would work fine as a warm soup in the winter as well. So it does carry over pretty easily.
I know a couple of times that I've used carrots in the gazpacho, and I found those are really crunchy. So I've discovered that if I'm going to put carrots in there, I'm going to steam them first and soften them up a little bit.
Yep, that's good. All of our green vegetables, too, are going to add a lot of that vitamin K and some of the other nutrients that we're looking for. So, you know, the peppers, if you have specific flavors that you like, they're all going to taste a little bit different. So you're going to see a red, a green, and a yellow pepper today, and each one adds its own unique flavor. So, again, you're going to want to try those out. If there's something you haven't tried in the past, do incorporate them into your recipes. You might find something that you really like.
And this is an easy recipe to try new things in.
Great.
Like I said, my limited culinary skills, I pick things that I can modify pretty easily.
Yeah. So how did you get used to eating jicama? Do you incorporate that often?
Every once in a while. I just tried it. I read a little bit of something, said, oh, jicama's pretty good, and then, okay, well, I'll try it.
Yeah.
Now, I haven't convinced my wife to really like it, but I kind of like the crunchiness of it.
It is, and it substitutes pretty easily as a snack. You can have it in place of celery and carrots or for a little bit of variety. And it fits well. It's, again, one of our white vegetables, so it has, again, a whole different nutrient profile than what we're used to, so that's great. What do you got next, sir?
Well, I think we'll grab a pepper here. We'll stay with the green.
Okay. And like I said, this one's going to be a little bit more mild. You're going to get a little more flavor out of your red peppers, and then you're going to have a little bit of a sweet flavor with your yellow. So you're going to notice a little bit different with each of these. All right, Scott, we're going to let you start cutting away on these peppers, and we're going to go ahead and check in with Holly and see what's new with the Fit in 5.
Welcome to today's Fit in 5. We recommend at the Heart of New Ulm that people get 150 minutes of a moderate physical activity a week. That averages out to about 5 days a week, 30 minutes a day. But one of the key questions we get is what is moderate and what is vigorous, and how can we tell if we're performing some type of moderate exercise, vigorous exercise? How do we monitor ourselves throughout the process? Well, moderate physical activity are going to be things that you can incorporate throughout your day. So gardening would be one. If you clean the house on a regular basis, that might be another one. Or if you have a pretty physically active job, those are going to be considered moderate activities. A light walk would also be considered moderate physical activity. Vigorous physical activity are going to be things more like running, walking briskly, biking, if you were to do an elliptical machine at a local club or a Stairmaster or some other piece of cardio equipment. That's going to be a vigorous type of physical activity. The vigorous physical activity is going to be a little bit better for our heart and lungs, but the moderate is great, and we want to get at least moderate activity into the tune of 150 minutes a week. So how do we monitor our intensity? Well, there's 3 ways that we can actually do this. One is the heart rate, one is called a rate of perceived exertion, and the other one is called a talk test. And you may have heard briefly a little bit about each one of these. Heart rate is the most commonly used, and it involves a little equation that's 220 minus your age times a percentage. We take the heart rate either in the wrist in the pulse or in the neck in the pulse, with the pulse. You can count to 10 and go from there. If you have a chart around, if you're at a club or some type of physical activity facility, working out, you'll see a lot of charts like the target heart rate monitor or target heart rate chart. These are actually great to use. You know, you can look at your age and you can kind of tell where you should be as far as a 10-second count is concerned. So if you're 35 and you're shooting for about that 70% of your maximum heart rate, your pulse should be about 22. The one, if you're looking at a more moderate activity pattern, you're looking more at your 55%. This can be a little bit complicated too, so what I like to do is have people use the rate of perceived exertion or the talk test. The rate of perceived exertion, you can see we have a chart here, and it's based on a scale of actually 1 to 10. I like to use 1 rather than 0 or 0.5, but 1 would mean that you're exercising and it's pretty light. You're not feeling a lot of intensity at that point in time. And 10 is going to be where you're working really, really hard, and taking one more step is going to be hard for you. We don't really want to be at that level of 10 for very long unless we're doing like an interval training where we're really pushing our cardio system pretty hard. Where we want to be if we're doing a vigorous workout is we want to be somewhere between about a 4 to a 6. So we're breathing heavily. We should have to breathe through our mouth. We shouldn't be able to breathe through our nose anymore, is basically what we're looking at. Another method I like to use is the talk test. So if you're working out with a buddy, for example, you shouldn't really be able to talk to them like I'm talking to you right now. You should be able to talk, but maybe not complete a full sentence. Conversely, you don't want to be to the point where you can't string 2 words together either, but it's a nice gauge. The mouth breathing is also a nice gauge of telling how hard you're working. You should, like I said, have to breathe through your mouth not still breathe through your nose. These are just some general ideas that you can use to monitor your exercise intensity. You can also buy a heart rate monitor. There's a lot of different monitors out on the market now, and they are very useful if you're going to use them quite often, but they can be kind of pricey. So, the perceived exertion, the talk test, even monitoring your heart rate are great ways to monitor your exercise intensity. With today's Fit in 5, I'm Holly. Make it a great day.
Thanks, Holly. Those are some great fitness tips. All right, Scott, where are we at?
Well, I'm going to cheat a little bit here and use my handy-dandy little Vidalia onion chopper because it'll dice it up really nice and be a little quicker.
Oh, yeah, that is kind of handy.
And it works on a variety of vegetables.
Yep. What else do you use this for?
Oh, tomatoes,
they don't get
cucumbers,
too crushed in there?
and no,
Okay.
not if you're really fast.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But it gets them to a really good size.
Okay.
Go to the red pepper now, and a person could stick with just the green. You kind of describe the differences between the peppers. I mostly just pick it for the color.
Yeah, it does make it look great. You do get a little bit of a taste variety in there too, but it does make anything more appealing when you have all the different colors. So that is what we like to see. Remember, with the Mediterranean diet, we're looking for 7 to 9 fruits and vegetable servings per day. So this soup is going to give you a good leg up on that. We're getting 2 to 3. With a good serving size, you're going to get almost 4 servings of vegetables in here, so this is great. So now, how long can you keep this, or how long will this last in your house?
About a week.
Okay.
I would say. I haven't pushed it any farther than that, so I don't really know.
All right, it's usually gone by then, huh?
It's usually gone by then, or yeah. If it's past that, then I would suggest giving it the old smell test or something. So.
Okay. Anything growing on there, that means discard.
That's right.
Yeah. What you will have is, because we're going to use a low sodium V8 juice as well as some diced tomatoes, that acidic base to that is going to help preserve some of these vegetables as well. So that does help its shelf life a little bit. I noticed too, for your recipe, you said that you can, like you mentioned, you can change the vegetables. You can also change your V8 a little bit. You can go with a hot and spicy, or you can try it even a different vegetable juice. It doesn't have to be a tomato juice base. So this recipe can definitely have a lot of modifications to it.
Yeah, my personal preference is the spicy hot version of V8.
Okay.
Not to name any brands, but
V8.
The hotter the better.
Yeah.
For me.
Now I'm on the other side. That these peppers are about as hot as I'll go. So.
Okay. Let's do scallions next.
Scallions, also known as green onions. Again, they're going to have a very distinctive flavor. When these set for a while, too, they're going to become a little bit stronger. So if you're not used to using green onions, make sure you try them before you use them up. This is one, when you look at this meal as well, when you're purchasing vegetables this way, because you don't have to buy a full pound, or you can buy, we bought just 1 red pepper, 1 yellow. This is a pretty reasonably priced meal. Green onions, again, are very low cost, and without that big protein base of a meat, this is a reasonably priced dinner. So very nice for a family.
All right, cucumber. Now, a person could peel it if they want.
We're going to leave the skin on.
All right.
A little more nutrients in there. And again, these are something that are available year-round, so they fit right in there as well. Yeah, that's a pretty good size cucumber.
Can't quite get to it again.
So where did you pick up this handy-dandy Vidalia chopper?
Oh, probably someplace at a local store like Herberger's.
Oh, okay. Like Vidalia is actually a trademark brand of an onion that comes out of southern Georgia. So a Vidalia would definitely be an onion chopper as well. They're also known as 1020s or 1012s from South Texas. So just a sweet onion, and that's where the Vidalia name comes from. A little bit of trivia I bet you didn't know today, Scott.
I did not know that.
Glad to share.
That's 2 things I've learned today. I used to tell people at work, if I learn something, I can go home.
There you go. You should have been out the door a while ago. Yeah, this is looking great and starting to smell good too.
All right. Now let's finish up the cucumber.
All right. And with that, again, we'll be using some diced tomatoes with chilies. If you're not into hot or spicy foods, you can just use the regular diced tomatoes in this recipe too, correct?
Yes, and you can dice up your own fresh tomatoes too.
Right.
I just go for quick and easy, so.
Went for the canned.
And the bottled juice, so that's.
Yeah, you could squeeze your own tomatoes too, yeah.
Right.
That's right.
I've had bypass. And the one nurse said that somebody from New Ulm was in there every week, which was not good.
Everyone needs a kick to get going, and sometimes that's the hardest part, is finding your start.
Special. It's unique. Not happening anywhere else in the world, but it's happening in our backyard, right here in New Ulm.
I see there's a lot of people that have changed because of this.
I pretty much eat nothing that I used to, and everything that I used to not.
The number one thing our community is saying about the Heart of New Ulm project is look at the difference that you see just on the sidewalks. You're seeing people out walking their dogs, with their kids, older people, younger people, all sorts of people. The goal of the Heart of New Ulm project is pretty simple: eliminate heart attacks. The difference, though, about our community is that we're going to change it.
We fondly refer to New Ulm as a bunch of pretty stubborn German. And if they get their heart behind something, that's what they're going to do.
Knocking on the door 20,000 steps today, and it's only 1 o'clock. Woo!
New Ulm sees this as something that is theirs. They take ownership, they take pride in the results.
This is a long-term project, which we're already beginning to see a fewer medical procedures coming out, cardiology procedures coming out in New Ulm.
I'm seeing far more strength. I'm 55 years old, and I'm the strongest I've ever been in my life, which is kind of a crazy thing. Usually 25, you'd say that, instead of 55.
For the Community Health Challenge, we divided New Ulm up into 23 different districts, and each district got the name of a German town. We're at the Dusseldorf Dance Your Heart Out, and it started that they went door to door in their neighborhood, which is about 200 households, and they put a flyer out for the dance. First week, about 50 people came. And now people are coming in from neighboring communities, from all over town.
We've done swing dancing and square dancing and line dancing, just to get the families out and do something different and enjoy the weather and get people active and motivated and maybe lose a little weight.
It's fun and you love it and you don't even know that you're exercising. Folks are very much on board, and that speaks to of the general public as well as the business sector.
There's a new menu here. There's the Heart of New Ulm menu: salmon, baked chicken, a fresh fruit / steamed vegetable salad, some wraps too, some chicken wrap and a portobello wrap. And when you show folks this menu, they're very, very keen to it, and they're very, very hip to it, and they want to be part of it. The Heart of New Ulm is a big deal to a lot of people.
A lot of people come in here that are in my Weight Watchers group, and I help them order and figure out their points values.
The greatest thing maybe is that people say, I can take care of my own health.
If the current trends continue, it's going to be very hard for our society to afford health care. So we think it's imperative that organizations like Alina get involved in promoting health, as well as continuing to do a good job of treating illness.
8, 9. I had high blood pressure 10. And I was pre-diabetic, but that's already become under control in the last 6 months.
When you
experience something that changes your life in a really positive way, and then you share that with another person, or another person sees you do that, they're inspired and they're motivated by you.
It's our first 5K, and we're like excited about this.
The question is, are we going to be able to maintain this for a long time and to the broader population? A 10-year study is a long time. It takes a long time to change the idea of an entire community. So far, we've got a great start.
We're blessed with having a community that understands about taking care of itself and taking care of its citizens, and we understand from a business community that that cost of healthcare is holding us back. If we don't get a handle on that, it's going to be very difficult for us to be competitive. So I can't tell you how proud I am.
People are having a great time. I think that they're learning that it can be a part of their normal routine.
It's about taking care of my people, my community. It's about, this is the place that my grandparents invested, my grandparents' grandparents, their parents. They're getting active, they're attending classes, they're getting out and exercising, they're taking responsibility in lots of different ways. My ask is that they continue to do that, get involved, take care of yourself, do what you can to support the Heart of New Ulm project. Let the project help you in making changes in your life, so that we have a longer life, and so that it's more enjoyable, that we can enjoy our life to the fullest and truly eliminate heart attacks.
All right, Scott, where are we at? What do we need to do?
Well, we've chopped the vegetables. Now we're just going to add the processed vegetables.
Okay.
Cheater.
The cheater vegetables. We'll still count them as vegetables. They're not so bad.
All right. And I just dumped the whole thing in with the juice and everything. So, and now I'm just ready to add some of the liquid ingredients. So I'll add a little bit of garlic here. You can press out a clove or use the minced garlic.
And again, remember, garlic is one of our key ingredients in a heart-healthy diet. So anytime you can include your garlic, it's a great idea. And it adds some good flavor again.
Yeah, I'm like the onions. It'll start to fuse the whole thing.
Yeah, it will make a difference.
Okay, add some olive oil.
Remember, a couple tablespoons spread throughout several servings is going to be all right, and we always encourage the use of the olive oil in the heart-healthy or Mediterranean diet, so that's a good choice.
And then some vinegar, a couple tablespoons. And you can use any variety of vinegar that you like, balsamic, or a flavored vinegar. Like if I have it, I can use pepper vinegar, vinegar that's been soaking in some peppers.
Yeah.
Again, I would go
so you
for
like
the
it
extra
hot.
I like it hot, yeah. That's probably why maybe nobody else in the family eats the gazpacho after I make it.
And our last ingredient would be?
Well, we're going to have
a little
dash of
Worcestershire
sauce, if it's preferred.
Okay. Now, for me, that would be something I would leave out, but it does not add any calories. It doesn't change the overall nutritional composition. So if it's something you'd like to have included, you're welcome to have that in, right?
Right. I don't always use it.
Okay.
It's occasionally if I want a little extra dash of something. And now it's just adding a V8. And usually it's about half a bottle, but again, with a recipe like this, you can go to town with the amount of vegetables you want to put in there. It depends on how big a batch you want or how little a batch. And you can add the V8 to where you get kind of the right consistency.
Right, so it's going to be however you like it, however thick you like it. Huh? Wow, yeah, that looks great. And so then how long are you going to let this cool, or do we eat it right away, or how do you like to serve yours?
Well, if the ingredients have been cold, you could probably eat it right away.
Okay.
I like to let it sit maybe for 20, 30 minutes. Kind of lets the flavors kind of meld together a little bit, particularly the onion and the garlic and stuff.
Okay.
But otherwise, you let it chill and then it's ready to go.
Great.
Now, occasionally, what I found with the olive oils after chilling is sometimes you have to let
Run
it
to the top.
warm up to the Yeah, it comes up to the top and then it kind of congeals a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know if that's quite the right word, but
Yeah, just mix it back in there.
Yeah, you just let it warm up a little bit and then mix it up.
Okay. And that's it. We're done.
That's it. Quick and easy.
That's a great recipe and it smells great. So, well, we appreciate all that you've done for the Heart of New Ulm and for you being here today. So that wraps up this episode of What's Cooking New Ulm. We'll see you again next week.